Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Shadow Man. Last time we watched the introduction to the game. We got acquainted with Mama Nettie,
no time to waste. Use Luke's bear and go Deadside.
who serves as a kind of a hint dropper. Whenever we're stuck, we can visit her and she will prod us.
No time to waste. Use Luke's bear and go Deadside.
She will prod us to the right direction. So now, she has also given us Michael's handgun, the Desert Eagle, and as you can see from the menu, we have both hands we can use. I'll look up it to the right hand. We have Nettie's file, which we already checked out, and Luke's teddy bear. There are only two possible destinations for us to go. The Bayou Paradis in Louisiana, and the Marrow Gates on the Deadside. So let's do it.
I am the Lord of Deadside, shadow-born at the confluence of worlds to walk between. Lifeside is without the meaning that my partly living possesses here in Deadside, where the darkness is manifest at the edges of reason. As a god, I step forth upon the writhing, suppurating surface of the Deadside serpent. What sleep is here? What dreams there are in the unctuous coilings of the snake's mortal shuffling. Weapon in my hand, the arcing death blow at the end of all things. The horror, I embrace it.
As you can see, Michael and Shadowman are the same people, of course, but when he assumes a Shadowman persona, Michael becomes a little more morose, more darker. However, his literature studies pay off, as his eloquence is a thing of note. Now, as you can see, there's an imposing structure in the background over there. And we have a weeping figure coming towards us. That's called a Duppy, the basic enemy in the game. When we're Shadow Man, the Desert Eagle gets transformed into the Shadow Gun. Now normally the Shadow Gun has a really annoying sound effect. However, thanks to Team Haywood, the game's sound producer, we have a better, more tolerable sound effect for the Shadow Gun, which doesn't make your ears want to claw out of your skull. As you can see, when we destroy enemies with a Shadow Gun, they leave behind their souls, which we can absorb to refill our own power. Well, let's go meet Jaunty.
Over here, Michael.
Yes, Jaunty has an Irish accent.
Hello there, Michael. How's that treating you?
Jaunty, kindly refer to me as Shadow Man. Michael Lawa has no place here in Deadside.
Whatever, Mick. It's good to see you again. Seems like simply ages since I last set me eyes on your happy, smiling mug.
The feeling's mutual.
I suppose you've been away dallying with the old battle axe, giving her one with some of that righteous voodoo so she can stay forever young?
Something like that.
She's been filling your head with her fated pillow talk again, I'll bet. Doomsday in an army giddy until you're drunk with the stuff.
She did happen to mention a certain prophetic dream she's been having.
Did she now? Well, for once I think the owl witch might be right. See that bloody big black tower yonder?
How could I miss it?
Well, old Bruegel, the medieval painter blokey, was just telling me the other day that he thought it looked remarkably like a picture he once did.
Is that Peter Bruegel?
No, Seamus, his distant Irish cousin. Anyways, he was quite shocked, so he was, at the terrible mess that bloody thing's making. Appearing out of nowhere and tearing its way through the place like there's no tomorrow. Which, given what Nettie's saying, might not be too far from the truth.
Any idea what's going on in there?
Nope, and I shan't be knocking on the front door to find out neither. All I'll say is, if there's something wicked heading this way, it'll be coming from in there.
Nettie mentioned the Dark Souls. Can you tell me any more about them?
I'm afraid I'll have to reply in the negative again, Michael. Suffice it to say, Nettie's told me that they're bloody powerful, well nigh indestructible, and shouldn't fall into the wrong hands.
Any idea where they might be?
What am I, a Dark Soul travel guide now? I suppose you could try all of the ancient sacred places down amongst the whalers and shiverers. I just hope that none of them souls have ended up in that filthy big black tower.
From what Nettie was saying, some of them already have, which is all the more reason for me to be pushing on. Open the gates, Jaunty.
Places to go, people to see, eh, Michael?
Just open the gates, Jaunty.
Did I ever tell you about the time me and Attila the Hun were playing skittles with the guillotine heads of the French aristocracy?
Jaunty.
All right, keep your bloody hair on. Which, looking at your shining bonds, may prove to be rather difficult. Open sesame! And if you be wanting to pop by and chat a while, I'll still be here. It's just a shame we can't share a drop of the hard stuff together by a roaring peat fire.
I don't drink with snakes.
And after the by your leave from Jaunty, the Marrow Gates are open, and we can go deeper into the Deadside. Our target, of course, is the asylum. It looks like Jack has been busy since the centuries Legion took him under his wing. His proverbial wing, of course. As you can see, duppies don't need to get close to attack us. As long as we're within a certain proximity, they can absorb our life force. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't played this game for quite a long while, so this is going to be pretty much a blind run. And here we are. Welcome to Deadside. Something's striking at me. Where are you? Now, you shouldn't do that.
Got it.
Something you might have noticed from the conversation is that Nettie is using Shadowman's, shall we say, love juices to stay forever young. Well, that's some voodoo. Alrighty. One more thing. The shadow gun, Michael's shadow gun, can break open the Govi in order to get to the Dark Souls we need. Now, what is this? Can do nothing about this for now. The music is really something else. This game probably has one of my favorite soundtracks ever, due to the atmosphere it creates. It's excellent, and it's one of a kind, I believe. Just a shame that we never saw a proper sequel to this game. Of course, there was a Shadowman 2 for the PlayStation 2, Second Coming it was called, but I haven't played it, and from what I've heard, it wasn't such a high-quality game overall. In any case, these duppies are quite aggravating to fight because they're quite numerous. They sometimes respawn and they take quite a few hits before they explode. And as long as you're near them, doesn't matter if you can see them or not, they can absorb your life. Our life is in a circle. The red chunks, you could say, on the meter. It's only half full at maximum, which means we can find ways to upgrade our maximum life. This is where the Metroid comparisons come from. Like the original Metroid, this game has aged quite a bit in the technical front, but it has quite a few things that were very innovative for their time, and I haven't really seen them be used in even recent games. Like the aforementioned fact that you can equip weapons in both hands. As you saw, we cannot go along this rope if we have the shadow gun in our hands. Like this. We have to put it away and then move on. Okay, so we came this way. Hopefully there is something at the end of this tunnel. Oh crap. Now this guy is dangerous. This is bad news. Oh crap. And apparently I haven't set up my controls correctly because I couldn't find the lock-on button, which is pretty much necessary to kill these fuckers. I don't remember their name, but I will after we check out excuse me, after we check out the manual for the game in the second supplement video. Ah, crap. Where are you? I think these guys are called Deadwings. And I should take care of this guy because he's going to be quite annoying. As you can see, enemies aren't the brightest tools, the sharpest tools in the box, but they're quite numerous. Ah, there we go. There's a lock-on button. It's better to shoot them from up here, because if I go down there, they have the upper hand. They move faster, and they're more agile than Michael is. And even though the game does have a lock-on, and it came out after Ocarina of Time, the lock-on function and Michael's movements while locked on aren't as fluid as in the Zelda game. Some of the minor flaws of the game, of course. Oh, crap. As you can see, I can jump sideways and backwards, but if I do jump sideways, I lose a lock. They also inflict a lot of damage, these guys, if I let them up close, so it's much better to keep them at arm's length. Alright. Now let's see. Nothing here. So we better climb back up again. Oh crap, looks like we're gonna be taking the long way around now. Shouldn't have dropped down. Damn. Can I grab onto that ledge? I don't think so. It's sloped. That was a bad move on my part. Or maybe not. I don't know. Let me check this out. Where does this lead? As you can imagine, just like in the first Metroid game, we have no map. We have nothing to show us where we are, where we have been. You just have to keep your eyes peeled for the for landmarks like this solitary bonfire over here, so that you know which way you've been and which way you haven't. I think this is the entrance. Oh crap! Die. Alright, Michael, let's see what's behind here. Ah, a little canoe. And a little switch. As you can see, there's a rope line that got launched, which is a shortcut for us, now that it's up. And this is the way to go, I think. As you can see, this bone arch is indicative that we're going somewhere we haven't been through before.
Got it.
And this is a coffin gate. As you can see, there are markings going clockwise from here. These correspond to the markings underneath our health meter. When we gather Dark Souls, chunks of our of the semicircle under our health bar will start getting purple. This one has no purple markings, so we can open it as we are.
I'm the Lord of Deadside.
Yes, Shadow Man channels his shadow energy through the conduits, and the coffin gate is blown open. Here we are. This little spectral teddy bear we saw means that we have unlocked a new destination when we want to teleport using the teddy bear. This is the Chamber of Prophecy.
Looks like someone left me a note.
Yes, indeed. Indeed they did, Michael. The prophecy. The prophecy that Nettie has been telling us about. How many pages is this? Not many, but we are going to read it because it is important. 23rd of November, 1888, dear friend. Although centuries may have passed by the time you read this note, know that I greet you both as a friend and as a brother, for I, in my time, have also borne the burden that is the Mask of Shadows. Know then that I constructed these passageways, the Paths of Shadow, as pathways through the place known as Deadside, so that we, and those who also bear the mask, might bring order to this realm and traverse it without hindrance. In my time I have gathered and catalogued many of the ancient artifacts of power, some of which reside within these chambers. However, I fear that I must leave my work incomplete. A seed of darkness has come to this realm, more powerful than has been felt in centuries, and so I find it necessary to seal the Paths of Shadow, lest they and the artifacts within them fall into the hands of evil. The task of securing these passageways has been immense labor, and I fear that with my weakening powers, these outer gates have not been secured as strongly as those deeper within the paths. Know then that the way ahead shall require much greater strength than that which brought you here. In addition to the catalogue of artifacts, find here enclosed La Carte du Prophétie. The prophecy is spoken to the ancients by the Loa. I fear that the darkness I sense on this day might be that which La Carte speak of, but fate has made it my charge not to challenge that darkness. Instead, my labor is to secure these passageways so that, come the time of prophecy, when evil shows its true form, they may be reopened and the relics recovered. Maxim St. James looks like this was a previous holder of the Mask of Shadows, although he was wearing it instead of having it knitted onto his ribs. And here we have La Carte. This is a graphical representation of Shadow Man and the Shadow Meter, as I was saying before. Long before the men of shadow, creatures with soul of evil did descend upon the worlds. Immortals they were led by the one who is many, he who bears the mouth of blood. After the longest of battles he was defeated and banished to a place beyond the worlds, and the dark souls of his armies were sealed into Govi. We can see some interesting markings on the card there. And the Sisters of Blood were entrusted with the Govi, and for many lifetimes the dark souls lay under their protection. And then the one who is many did return from the place beyond worlds. Under his banner did he unite the madmen and killers, and they did build asylum in the world of the dead. And sending his minions throughout the world of the dead, he gathered the dark souls that were not under the sisters' protection. Using their dreaded power, he summoned the five, mortal men, to do his bidding, and they built for him gateways of souls into the world of men. So the five did appear in a dream to the sorceress, and their lizard king did announce the apocalypse with the cries of 1,000 men. And in her darkest hour, the sorceress did call upon the man of shadow. And the serpent did guard the Marrow Gates until the shadow returned to the world of the dead, and thence did the serpent become his adviser. For the man of shadow did open the coffin gates, and for the first time in 100 years were the paths of shadow walked. The man of shadow did break the sister's spell on the Govi, and in taking the dark soul's power he did unite it within him. And here we see how many dark souls we need to upgrade our shadow powers. Oh, I see. It's how many you need to go to the next level. So we need 1, 2 more, 4 more, 8 more, and so on and so forth. Now, with greater powers, the man of shadow finally entered Asylum, and did find the gateways within that led through the world of men. And he passed beyond them, and did confront the five, but in the broad daylight of day did he fall to them. And the sorceress fell into a deep trance, her powers exhausted, and a shadow did fall upon the world of men. And Legion took the power of the dark souls unto him. The end. Well, that's pretty ominous. According to the prophecy, Legion will succeed. And the world will end. Hopefully we can reverse this dire portent. And here we have the weapons we will be finding along our journey, the baton. That blade which pierces the ether and carries the spirit through it. The flambeau, bearer of the voodoo flame. Marteau, that which sounds the rada drums. Calabash, destroyer of the sacred wave. As you can see, we found one paneling on the floor earlier with the same markings as one etched on the card. The assen, the sacred rattle of the mambo. The poin to climb the falls of blood. We did see some bloody waterfalls, and as you can understand, we will be climbing them later on. The ensign, that which protects. L'Eclipseur, the bringer of night, releasing the shadow into the world of men. Le Soleil, brother sun, La Lune, sister moon, La Lame, the power that binds. All three components are necessary to create L'Eclipseur. However, to do that will bring the shadow into the world of men, allowing Legion, according to the prophecy, to prevail. Here we have the Book of Shadows. Only the most powerful may read this Book of Secrets. Le Garde, the sacred marks given in trials by Le Sieur de Sang, as protection from the elemental fire. The God Toucher, that he may grasp fire, yet feel no pain. The God Marcher, that he may walk over burning coals. And the God Nagger, that he may be consumed by flame, yet no harm shall come to him. And here we have the Cadeau, offerings to the law on the altars of life. Lying beyond the wasteland, 100 Cadeau made as an offering to the law shall increase the strength of a man's spirit, which means with 100 Cadeau, we gain 1 extra life chunk. This is everything we have. Now, as you might have understood, this area we've been wandering around is called the Paths of Shadow, created by Maxime St. James, a previous Shadow Man, in the employ of a previous sorceress. And as you can see, this coffin gate requires shadow power of 1, which means we're going to be needing a dark soul. Let's jump around. Aha! Luckily for us,
This should be useful.
there is a Govi here. So, 1 shot from the shadow gun, and you can see it's pulsating. It feels the power of the Shadow Man near it. It yearns to be possessed. Indeed. In this, we're going to need the God Toucher to touch this, because if we try to do it now,
Damn hot.
it hurts us. Alright, so as you can see, we have 1 purple chunk under our health meter, which means we can finally open this coffin gate.
I'm the Lord of Deadside.
And move on beyond. Ah, crap. There's another coffin gate down there.
Got it.
Okay. Hopefully there's not any more hiding around and I haven't seen them. Shadow power of 2. Not too much. Some more could do.
Great.
As you can see, it pays. Ah, I forgot about this. Now that we have shadow power, we can charge up our shots. As you can imagine, with more dark souls in our possession and the more shadow power we gain, the more we can charge our weapon and the more damage we can do with each shot. But for now, let's move on, deeper into the Deadside, into the depths of the Paths of Shadow.
Unsalvaged souls that drift beyond the Marrow Gates for an eternity of waiting. This infinite limbo, this wasteland, this untamed, unnatural afterbirth I command with my endless darkness. What ineffable secrets are whispered within the Paths of Shadow? What red-edge realities rising bleak above the blasted skyline? Deadwing, Duppy, Zombie Mother. This voodoo lord outlasts them all.
And here we are, the entrance to the wasteland. And as you can see, Maxime St. James wasn't kidding when he was talking about Paths of Shadow. However, we will be exploring them next time. For now, I will have to thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Till then, as always, take care.